Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amirul Amin bin Mahmud.
My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Rosli.
And my name is Wan Muhammad Taufik bin Wan Muhammad Zain.
So today we will present to you about smartphone should be allowed for secondary school by government. Next. So these are the contents that we will present to you, which is we will start with the introduction of the topic. Then we will go to the main idea 1, main idea 2, and main idea 3. Then we proceed to the conclusion. Next. So now we are going to start with the introduction of the topic. What is smartphone? According to Goksu and ATC in their article titled Need for Mobile Learning Technologies and Opportunities, smartphone are a type of communication system that was produced by merging the features of a PDA. So what is PDA? Which is Personal Digital Assistant. So in this PDA, it is a mobile device that functions as a personal information manager that keeps such as address and names. It has the ability to connect to the internet, and it is also portable. It is equipped with a mobile operating system and a variety of applications. Next. So what is the purpose of this smartphone? According to Seong Sucha and Bu Kyung Seo in their article, the purpose for using a smartphone are young people like to watch videos, express themselves, communicate with friends. Then people like to search for information using smartphones. And also older people use their smartphone for having video calls with their children, living far away, and for playing games. Next. So the problem for this issue is the authorities' use on smartphone in schools are more prone to the negative sides, and there is no awareness for positive sides for its usage. Also, students are not being exposed about using smartphones for good purpose. Therefore, we provide to you a thesis statement that we believe that smartphones should be allowed for secondary school by the government to improve the teaching and learning process, to facilitate the students with advanced knowledge, which is enhanced with the learning process, and promote the sustainability of education. So we will go to the main idea 1, which is smartphones should be allowed for secondary school by the government to improve the teaching and learning process, which helps both teachers and students, especially in English subjects. Next. So, English learning will be more convenient with the variety of sources across the nation through YouTube, podcasts, audio, and many more options that can be served by the students. Next. Besides, it helps students to acquire more understanding and proficiency while improving the accent, pronunciation. Thus, it will build the confidence towards English within the technology. Next. So, BJ Pratiwi mentioned in the article that another application that the students use in their smartphone is English listening and speaking application. This application is helpful for the students listening to English and speaking English more fluently. Besides, the different approach of learning by using a smartphone, especially with vocabulary building, could enhance a student's memory to maximum capability. So, based on the above statement, it is clear that and reasonable that the smartphone should be allowed at the secondary school. There are lots of features on the smartphone that support the learning, so that support the learning process, which extensively enhance the students' ability towards in-class module of learning. Although some might be skeptical on the students' behaviors towards the smartphone, it is not the reason to create a barrier on something which potentially change the way of learning in the future. So I will pass the floor to the next presenter for presenting the main idea.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Faris bin Muhammad Rosli, and I will proceed to main idea 2, which is enhanced student learning process. First of all, thanks to Brother Amirul Amin for presenting the introduction and also main idea 1. Okay, the new advanced technology impact the system learning, demanding for a dynamic and more flexible mechanism for a better experience. So by general, we can say that this new advanced technology and also advanced learning give some impact to the student. In the previous time, in the old generation, we can see that there is no access to the internet. There is no adaptation of new technology. There is no smartphones, iPad, and so on. So it is very different in terms of the environment that the students are go through right now. So it is very important for the government to allow for students to bring their smartphones and allowing for primary school so that they can have a better experience and more advanced student experience. So within this presentation, I would like to highlight 3 main points, which is the first one, how can students benefit from smartphones? And then traditional versus modern technology and smartphone and AST students. So how can students benefit from smartphones? There is an article titled Tablet PC and Smartphone Users in Education 2014 by Cruz Nola Pedi. It is stated that some of the advantages have been proved that students can have advantages such as boost up searching for information, translation, and difficult words to understand. It is very obvious that students, when they are reading some books or materials, they find that some of the words are difficult and they tend to find it from the dictionary. As we all know, the old dictionary we have to bring it to the class. It is very heavy, so it is very inconvenient. Within the smartphones, students can save up sometimes and have more convenience while they are learning. Second one is to seek knowledge beyond syllabus. So within smartphone, there are an online open sources so that the student will not limited to the textbook only, and then they can generate more ideas and also search for more information in the internet. Other than that, there are also digital content and experience, which is bring more convenience for the students for their learning purpose. The next one is traditional versus modern tech. In the traditional ways, we used to have pencils, papers, base, and also textbook. So within this modern technology, we can replace the paper-based learning with digital content and examination. There is no doubt that there will be some kind of cheating in the examination, but somehow within this kind of transition, we can save up the consumption of production paper so that we no longer use the paper. We can replace it with an online, so we can save more trees and save the world. That is the point. And the next one is flexibility to access class and mobility to deliver the lessons. This one, when we have an online classes, so we are not limited to some venues and also time, so we can access the class anytime at anywhere. So it also advantages for long distance learning with time preference, as I've mentioned. So we can choose our time and also it can access anywhere. Next one is development social interaction among students and teachers. These smartphones are equipped, as our brother mentioned, with variety of applications so that the student can have more connection and also communicate with the teachers and also their colleagues if there is any some kind of inquiries or questions or discussions so that they can use this technology to help them and assist them in their learning. And the next one is smartphone ASD student. ASD stands for autistic spectrum disorder. So there's also one article from Susan L. Hedges, Samuel L. Hodom, Kara Hume, and Sam in the title Technology as Support Tools by Secondary Student with Autism, so that the students can have more, I can say, more comfortable and relaxing while they have their learning session, because these students have a lot of issue like fear of their friends and teachers, anxiety, and also lack of self-management. So within smartphones, as stated in the article, they are proven that smartphone help them to work with their homework and also assist them to communicate with their friends. So the government needs to take this as alternative ways for the ASD students to help them enhance their student learning. It is very important for the students to have this in their study life. I think that's all from me, and I'll pass the floor to Wan Muhammad Tafiq for main idea 3.
Okay, thank you very much for the brother Muhammad Faris for the warm invitation. Okay, let's jump to the main idea 3, which is smartphone should be allowed on secondary school to sustain in learning process. Okay, next. Learning process here means that sustainability in learning process, we do understand that education lasts forever, but how we imply the technology, incorporate with them to create a very sustained yet prolonged, most effective way learning process. Okay, in order to sustain in education, Fako Kunde 2017 cited that innovation in education has bring and support on future education mission in which to empower the learning system. So here we have 3 to discuss, which is number 1, the innovation that brings students to complete understand on how smartphone works for support the current learning process. Number 2 is innovation of the digital classroom. And not only that, number 3 is the innovation of the online education side. Okay, next. Okay, first one is a student understanding. Okay, because of the technological advance, students nowadays manage to understand the use of the smartphone, which contribute to effectiveness of the learning process via smartphone. Okay, the study by Fako Kunde has carried out several data in which 88% believe that they can got the learning material from the mobile phone. 94% believe that they can share or send the school assignment or the instruction of the task to their classmates. 94% of the students believe that they can read ebooks through mobile phone, and 98% believe that they can access the library service via the smartphone. Okay, that is how important the student to understand on the capabilities of the smartphone to extend the online class. Okay, next. Next one is the digital classroom. Okay, Krishna Lavbedi 2014 stated that many countries are turning to digital textbook, which the ambitious goal of fully digitalizing textbook for primary, secondary, and tertiary educational institution by the year 2015. Okay, by this year, which is 2021, is already happened. So digital classroom is referred to the classroom that is fully immersed in technology, which is they incorporate the electronic devices and software into the learning environment. So this classroom rely on the educational apps and website to enhance students' learning. So which means that physical classroom extend into digital spaces. Okay, next. The other innovation is the online education sites. Okay, Clem and Janko has 2015 has cited that new models of course deliveries such as MOOC, most massive open online course, have grown in popularity. So basically, MOOC offers students a way to learn in a setting similar to a online class, but usually in most loose structure and can be accessed without paying any tuition fee or any academic program. Yeah. So this is kind of program that are relatively new and have been supported by well-known most prominent international university currently. Okay, that's it for the main idea 3, which is to sustain a learning process. Okay, to sum up, we have concluded into 3, which is analysis, perspective, and solution. Okay, next. Okay, first of all is analysis, which is advantages of smartphone, and you have to aware the advantages of smartphone and their negative side. So basically, the first one is facilitate the student with advanced knowledge, means that they can go over the barrier to access the another new knowledge. Okay. Second, promotes the sustainability of education, means that 20 or 30 years beyond, they can access the education on the simplified method. The third is the student progression to international level, means that which is incorporate with the technology, means that it could reach the information or the participant to the international level. Okay, next. Okay, talk about the Islamic perspective on technology. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "He who alleviates the suffering of a brother out of the suffering of the world, Allah will elevate his suffering from the suffering of the day of resurrection." Sahih Muslim. Next, we could benefit from this hadith. First one is technology are permissible as long as for the good intention. Good intention here is considered that we using the technology only for the which are only to extend our knowledge capabilities. Second one is Allah is the one who alleviates of others' burdens. That means that if we could put people on easily, could ease on other people, so inshallah we could also benefit from them. Okay, the third is Allah will ease the journey home in the path of seeking knowledge. So this is one. This one is very general. Okay, next. The solution regarding our promote points. First one is to provide free smartphone to the student which can afford, the student that can't afford the smartphone on behalf of their family. So the second one is restriction of time usage, means that we have to limit the time using smartphone, sometimes because they could overly use to another purpose. The third one is to establish a proper guideline or standard operation procedure, means that the special guideline which to minimize the use of the smartphone time, incorporate with the academic or the learning process instead of the playing video games and what's not. Okay, I think that's it from us. Thank you very much. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.